To add shapes to your Smart Notebook files, simply go up to the Shape tool in the toolbar, and from there you'll have a few options. The circle with the dot in the middle is a perfect circle, so no matter when you click and drag, it will create a perfect circle no matter how big or small you'd like it to be. You can also click on any of the other tools. Some of them are shapes with rounded corners, things like that. You can pick and choose anything you'd like. There are a few presets up here, like a pink heart. You can also choose from the drop-down menu here. There are a few other shapes that you might find useful, some thought bubbles and things like that. Any of those are on there, and you can choose. And you'll notice that this is a cross shape instead of being the select tool. So this will just continue to make that same shape until you choose a different shape or until you go back to the select tool. To change the way a shape looks, you simply click on the shape itself, usually on the line part to be the most successful. From there, you can click and drag it anywhere around the screen. You can also resize by using the resize handle here at the bottom right corner. You can also rotate the item by clicking on it. This green handle is a rotation button, and you can rotate that any way you need to for what you're doing. And last but not least, you can also use the drop down, so you can do things like copy paste, infinite cloner, locking, things like that. To change the appearance of the shape, you can either do that along the top in these options here, or you can always go over to the properties menu over here. There's two things to notice. There's one color option called fill and one called line, and that makes a big difference. So fill is what the interior of the shape is going to be, so you can do a solid fill and you can choose the color you'd like that to be. You can also choose how transparent you want that to be. So maybe you want to be able to see something through the other shape. You can decide how transparent you want that to be, and that's really helpful sometimes. The other thing you might want to adjust, there's other fill options too you can play around with as well, but the other option that's really important is the line style. From there you can choose, right now it has a black outline, but you can also choose another color, and you can opt to change the thickness depending on what it is that you would like to do with the shape. You may also choose from the style menu. You can also have a dotted line or a dashed line, things like that. You can change those styles as well. Another useful tool is this shape feature up here. You'll notice that it has several shapes and it has the number in there. That's particularly helpful if you know that you need a figure with that many sides. So you can have 3, 4, 5. You can have 6 for a hexagon, 8 for an octagon, and some of these where it's a little bit hard to tell how many sides it has, the number will help. So you can see this one has 10 and so on, and they go all the way up to 16 sides. So if you ever needed an object with a certain number of sides for doing shapes or anything like that, you can do that as well. And these shapes can all be modified in the same way, adding fill, things like that, and line style and all of those kinds of things as well. The same thing is true of lines. To add a line, you'll click on a line tool up here. There are several preset options, but again the cross shape will show up and you will click and drag to have any kind of lines that you need. You can also again choose any of the presets depending on your needs. You have a few curved line options, and then of course again either up here in the top you can choose line color or the line properties. You can also choose the select tool, click on the line you want, change the color, change the thickness, change the style. You can also change the start and the end, which is really helpful if you want to make arrows and things like that. You can add all kinds of those things, and to change any of those you can simply change them at any time. And these lines also have the drop-down menu as well, so you can copy paste, infinite cloner, lock, etc., etc.